everyone, and welcome to the Seneca County Board of Commissioner meeting. Today's Thursday, it's September 11th, 2025. It's 10 in the morning, and this is our regular board session. We'll open with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll begin with just a brief prayer. Dear God, we ask you to look over our meeting today, and on 9/11 we remember that terrible day, and today's a special day where we recognize all our first responders, all the people that were involved that day and impacted. And we ask that you bless all the survivors and those that were there, and that you continue to remind us that we continue to pray for peace in our world. Amen. All right. Roll call.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Here.
Commissioner Franker,
Here.
Commissioner Bustecker.
Here.
All right. So at this time, we'll accept the motion to approve the digital audio recording of our previous board session way back a week ago on September 4th, 2025.
So moved. Second.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Bustecker.
Yes.
Commissioner Franker,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
All right, minutes are approved. So first on the agenda, we have Kim Bond to present to the commissioners our health insurance update recommendation. And the county has a health insurance committee. They've met numerous times with Kim and her company. And today's the day we get the summary, and hopefully we can act.
That is correct. Thank you for having me, Commissioner Paradiso, Commissioner Franker, and Commissioner Bustecker. I appreciate it. My name is Kimberly Bond of Risk Strategies. We're now part of the Brown & Brown team since August 1st of 2025. I met with the Health Insurance Committee on September 5th, last Friday, and I'm coming in with the results of that conversation and our recommendation. A little bit of history before I get started. The county, we're talking about the health insurance effective 1/1/2026. The county is part of SEBCO, which is the County Employee Benefit Consortium of Ohio, and has been since 2013. SEBCO was created by the County Commissioners Association of Ohio. There are currently 50 out of 88 counties in SEBCO, and 57% of those counties, 57% of the Ohio counties are in this consortium. Costs have escalated, costs continue to increase, and SEBCO's renewal this year, out of 50 counties, 27 of those had more than, or received more than a 10% rate increase. That's substantially higher than it has been over the last couple of years. It continues to escalate and has done so since COVID, since 2012, for the last 4 years. The loss ratio for Seneca County, loss ratio means the amount of claims SEBCO paid versus the premium Seneca County has paid in over the last 5 years, has been 147% loss ratio. That means SEBCO has paid in 47% more, paid out 47% more in claims than what the county has paid in premium. Over the last 3 years, that average has been 162% loss ratio. So that explains why we've seen some high increases over the last few years. Seneca County's renewal increase over the last 5 years with SEBCO has been a little less than 12%. Over the last 3 years, that increase has been an average of a little more than 15%. Last year, we got an 18% rate increase. This year is a 14.7% rate increase. I will say that we have had to increase the county employee portion as well over the last 3 years. For 2 years in 21-22, there were no increases to the employee contributions. The last 3-year average has been an increase of 4%, but the contributions are still very low. My recommendation to the committee, and please ask questions if you have any. Basically, the Health Insurance Committee recommended renewing with Zebco at the 14.7% rate increase effective 1/1/2026. This is the second year of a 3-year contract with Zebco. The additional annual premium will be about $608,500. County contributions will be increased 27%, and employee contributions will be increased 11%. That 11% sounds like a lot. Actually, the dollars that will actually be increased are much lower than it sounds because, like I said, the employee contributions are low. That 11% increase for employees will be an additional $7 per pay for single coverage, $13 per pay for employee spouse, $11 per pay for employee child, and family will increase $20 per pay. The employee contribution strategy that reflects is that the county will be responsible for payment of 85% of the cost of the plan, and the employees will be responsible for 15% of the cost of the plan. The Health Insurance Committee also recommended retaining the current plan design with a $3,500 deductible, which it allows for health savings account contributions as offered by Zebco. That will not be changing 1/1/2026. I will say that we did look at an alternate option of a $4,000 deductible just to try and keep the costs down. The committee recommended that we retain the current benefits for this year.
So I guess at this point,
Take a pause on the medical side.
yeah, we'll, I guess, make a motion to accept the plan design and establish the county premium contributions and health insurance rates for the calendar year 2026, and then we can have further discussion.
Okay, so I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we're in discussion. Anybody? Start?
Questions or anything?
Yeah.
Yep.
As we
I
all
have a
know,
few, but you
yeah,
go
right,
first,
right,
yes.
as I was gonna say, I guess more of a statement than anything, that we know
Yeah.
what health insurance has done everywhere and stuff on it, and that's what, I think we've tried to keep, the employee portion down as long as we could, but at some point, it's been, for 2 years we've held it down significantly, and not that, it's just, yeah, and also I think, with our 85/15 is also a benefit too, because a lot of employees, employers and stuff have a, 80/20, and
Mhm.
we're, so.
Wouldn't you say the majority is
so-
80/20?
Yes,
Public sector.
absolutely.
I have to get
Here,
to that point.
if you work here, you pay 15% of the premium.
And I will say, sitting on that health insurance committee, we did vet this. We did have a lot of conversation over what we were gonna do. So it's not like we just picked a number out of the sky or anything. Kim comes in, does a very good job of presenting, different options, and she even went to bat and said, hey, let's see if we can increase the deductible to maybe reduce costs a little bit, and there really wasn't a whole lot of cost savings in increasing that deductible, so.
And maybe Barbara, if you want to talk about the committee a little bit, like kind of who sits that way. it's
The
not-
committee consists of myself, a commissioner, which is Commissioner Paradiso, the auditor, the Board of Health commissioner. There is a representative from JFS and from the judges. I'm trying to think of who was all at the table when we were in that meeting. So that's basically what the committee
Yeah, so it's kind of-
consists of. So we have a variety of people. It's not just the commissioners making a decision. So everybody is on the same page with that decision.
And I would like to say those, the increases over the last 4 years have been higher, but they've maxed at 18%. The advantage of being with Zebco is the fact that they do have a max increase, even when those claims are extremely high. Unlike being outside in the regular world, standalone, the county would have seen a lot greater increases than what they have over the
Being
last
with
4
other
years.
counties.
You've got
big
stability,
consortium. Yeah.
correct.
Right, any other comments?
It's pretty clear. It sucks, but
Okay. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's what it is, I
I
think.
mean, I saw it in private business.
Yeah.
I mean, we
think
started
we've
off
done
with
a really good
$250
job.
deductible 20-some years ago. Now, that's a business that has $10,000 deductible.
So we say that,
So-
we talk like this, but it's a big impact to the budget,
is.
obviously. It's a lot of money, and we're in budget conversations, but governments, school districts, we're not immune to these increases. Healthcare affects everybody. It used to be you worked for the county or the government, you had this great health plan, and it's still a pretty darn good health plan.
It is.
But it's, we gotta nibble at it to stay competitive, but to be able to afford it. So I think it's a good compromise and good for next year. The employees will pay 15% of the premium. All county and county departments will pay 85%. And the employees pay pre-tax.
Yes, it
They
is
pay their
pre-tax.
15 pre-tax per pay. And so we have a resolution, first and a second. Any other discussion? Okay, we'll take a vote. Roll call.
Commissioner Bustecker?
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes. Okay, next.
The Health Insurance Committee also recommended that the county continue providing the health savings account contribution to the employees, and that amount would remain at $800 a single, $1,600 a family, effective 1/1/2026. This is not a guarantee for future years. This is just for 2026, and it's recommended that contribution will continue to be paid quarterly.
So move.
Second.
Okay, any discussion with the HSA contribution?
I will just put in a little bit that last year we carved out a few people that were on Medicare Part A. They are not eligible for an HSA, so we contributed that money to their paycheck because they can't contribute to an HSA. I would recommend that we that contribution be no longer
thought we
eligible
stopped
for
it
anybody.
last year.
Yeah, we did it. We had a few.
Grandfathered a few.
Grandfathered a few employees, and I
Because I
believe
wasn't-
they are all no longer working for the county anymore. So I would like to also add to that anybody that is on Medicare Part A and enrolled in county insurance will not be eligible to contribute to this health saving as a
I'm good.
contribution for
You
the
guys
health
good?
savings.
So what used to happen, so and I turned 65, and it's, instead of getting the 800 put into my account, because now I'm on Medicare, I would get a check for 800 added to my salary. We're not doing that anymore. We grandfathered a few people in.
Yep.
And so, once you're 65, you're not eligible for the HSA contribution.
If you're
on the county.
So, if
You have to
you're
be on
Still.
both.
Social
Yep.
Security, Medicare.
Yeah, from Medicare.
You have to be on both.
Yeah, because once you get Social
Once you have
Security, you can't.
Medicare, you can't
do
contribute.
it anyhow.
Yeah.
So what am I? I'm not on I'm on the county plan, but I don't get,
You don't get the
I
contribution.
don't get the contribution.
And
I
that's
think when you're
very
65,
standard.
you don't get it.
That's very standard in the
Yeah,
industry.
and that's good.
And I also say that we are contributing that amount quarterly instead of a one lump sum at the beginning of the year.
Good. So did we amend the motion? We got it? We're good? We added that? Okay. Anybody else? We good? Roll call.
Commissioner Bustecker?
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes. It's good. Next.
Health Insurance Committee also recommended the current, negotiated wellness rates and criteria will remain effective 1/1/2027 because we do that a year ahead. So there will be no change in the wellness. That's reduced employee premiums based on points earned on the wellness program. They get discounts on their contribution to the benefits.
Make a motion, we approve this.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
It doesn't change. The dollar amounts have not changed in a number of years, and it's based off of a 3-tier system.
Real high level, you want to explain the wellness?
Yeah, so the easiest way to explain
qualify?
it is we have check marks. So the first tier, you have to do it's not, those aren't check marks anymore. The way Sebco has it set up is you do $200 worth of activity, you receive a discount on your premium if you complete that full $200. And that starts, generally starts July 1 and goes to June 30th.
So we're encouraging wellness, and those that.
To kind of keep our
do all
premiums
the
down.
wellness things, they get a little discount on.
Yeah, to kind of keep
Okay,
premiums
which is
down
great.
if we can
We
catch
have-
things earlier.
What do we have, 70, 80 people?
I believe there's 50 currently.
50 that get?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
it was a little higher, but 50.
50, but it does say, I mean, it does save employees, what did, 30,
About $37,000 a year.
so, I mean, that comes,
Yeah.
so, but then, so then the next tier is 6 check marks above and beyond the $200 that we're doing with Subco. That allows for another reduction.
Other band.
And then at 12 check marks, that's a whole nother section that you get another reduction. So there are, you know, so if you get the first $200 and 6 checks, you're essentially could save, you know, as a single, you could save $16 per pay.
Yeah,
So
Good money.
it's worth, I mean, if you can get it done, so.
okay, any other discussion? You
No.
good? Very good, leaving that the same? Roll call.
Commissioner Bustecker?
Yes?
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes. Great. Are you happy?
I'm happy. Well, I'm happy as I can be.
As
I'm
happy
hoping
as you
next year I can
be.
deliver better news.
I think we are too. It's.
I did want to mention, the county has ancillary benefits with Guardian, Basic Life, Voluntary Life, Dental and Vision. You're in the middle of a 2-year rate guarantee there, so there's no change in the rates. That will not change. Risk Strategies fees with Seneca County will remain the same with no increase, effective 1/1/2026. And the 26 will be the second year of a 3-year contract. And that's what I have. Do you have
Any
any
other
questions
discussion?
for me?
Any other questions? So the process is from here, Mark, Ed?
I need signatures and we record for resolutions and I get information to Subco so that they know that we've accepted the rates because it has to be turned in by end of day tomorrow. It's a quick turnaround and then open enrollment will be October 20th.
They're the 31st.
Yeah, 20th through the 31st.
Okay.
And we'll send out notifications for that.
The positive is no plan change.
No plan change.
Plan design, so it's not gonna be, that part won't be confusing to the employees. It'll be an uptick in what they pay. But the plan stays the same.
Absolutely.
So that's a good thing as far as confusion. You know, okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Kim.
And our office is available. Lori Huth does a great job for the county.
She
She's
absolutely
available to
does.
talk to your employees. I want to thank you today for allowing me to come in. I appreciate the partnership with Seneca County. I look forward to working with you in 2026.
You.
Thank you for
did a
your
great
time
job.
and
Thank you.
putting us all
Thank you.
together.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, well, nice job. Thanks, Kim. Thank you. All righty, so next, we have a few guests here. Sandy Sprang and Marissa. How do I say your last name? Beckstein?
Beckstein, yep.
Beckstein.
All right.
Okay, welcome. And they're with the team of GOG, and I'll let you take the floor and kind of go from there. So you're yielding,
She'll be coming in.
you're coming in for the cleanup.
Yes,
Okay.
I will say, again, thank you. It's always great when we can come, and I appreciated I think the step that Seneca and Sandusky both made to join the SEDS, and I hope that you'll be pleased with the result. I'm really excited about the participation that we had from Seneca County. I want to just note one thing about the name that the committee gave to the SEDS, Lake Erie West region. Tomorrow's a big day for us because our governing board is voting to adopt our new name. We've gone through a lot of focus groups. It was overwhelmingly positive. The most negative comment we had was neutral. Otherwise, it was overwhelmingly positive. But the new name for the organization if approved tomorrow, and we believe it will be, is Lake Erie West Regional Council. So this SEDS is the first document that we've put this new name on, and we worked with Madhouse, a creative group that had worked on our website before, and so they won the contract. But they really, I think, incorporated the strategic plan we had done. They really went through, the rationale for the name change. And one of the things, we knew that Northwest Ohio didn't make sense because the Maumee Valley Regional Council, where Marissa started her career, is really more northwest than we are. And Monroe County, because they have some townships that are part of the Toledo MSA, they're a member. And so I think everybody on every focus group, if you said, what's our greatest asset, even those counties that don't have coastal frontage, they have the tributaries that go to and from the lake, but also recognize that it is our region's greatest asset. So it was pretty easy, really, I told them to turn over every rock, but this was the name that came. So it's kind of exciting to see it on this screen, because it's the first time we've actually seen it on any document. So I just wanted to share that. But Marissa's going to begin the presentation, and then I will add some next steps at the end.
Yeah, I want to throw one more comment in. So Seneca County, we've been on the fringe. We've been down and not really involved with the current name, Team of God, which is Toledo Metropolitan Area Council of Governments. And then we met with the engineers, and we met with, we combined with Sandusky County. And so this is economic development. This is just kind of a progression for Seneca County, which we look at as a positive. As your Northwest Ohio, grows a little bit and adds counties, we're part of that, right?
Absolutely. And we're going to, because workforce is such an, I'm getting a little ahead here, but because workforce
we'll turn it over,
but because workforce is such an important part of the SEDS, we've got a new initiative. You may have heard about our water workforce program. Half the licensed water operators in the drinking water and the wastewater plants are expected nationwide to retire in the next 10 years. And we knew that there was a problem because even the facilities within our footprint were poaching from each other, and it was not a good situation. So perceiving that need, we were able to jump on an opportunity for a grant from the US EPA, and we created a program with Owens Community College and working with all of the facilities. We created a really comprehensive program from attracting people. One of the most successful people who went through the program was a woman who lost her job during COVID doing childcare, and a Google ad popped up. Are you interested in a job in the water industry? She toured, that was always a part of it. All the candidates had to tour drinking water plant, wastewater plant. Then Owens created a curriculum because the pass rates on the EPA tests are terrible. 24% for wastewater, 50% for drinking. Then you have to do 2,200 hours in the plant, and so you create a licensed operator and somebody poaches them, right, for $2 more an hour. So we actually put 68 people through that program. And that young woman that I spoke about, she is a star employee now in Toledo, who admittedly, they'll say we were the worst poachers because we had the biggest need. But she passed the level 1 and the level 2. She just went on and said, well, I'm just going to take the level 2, see what happens. She passed it. And I said to her, Lisa, were the tests hard? She said, the tests were easy, the course was hard, which I thought was great. But we had people from all the facilities coming in and mentoring, and on Fridays, they were in a plant, 4 days in class, and it cost them nothing to attend these classes. So we had 3 graduations. But it really started something with us, because we know that member communities are having a hard time hiring in a lot of categories. Whether it's people for road crews, whether it's in engineering, whether it's fiscal folks, and of course safety officers, fire and police. And so we're having an event, and actually we're sending out the invitations, and you're included. It's called Pathways to Public Service. We'd love to have some folks from Seneca. It's not a traditional job fair. It's really opportunities for people to hear from people who've had public sector jobs. And, you know, listening to you talk about healthcare, there's a lot of good things about working in the public sector. We just don't talk about it enough. That's how we got so behind in licensed water operators. No, you don't ask a 10-year-old, what do you want to be when you grow up? A water operator, but it's a great job and has a lot of extra progressions you can go through. So just wanted to let you know that, you know, we're really, I think you said it's like a progression. We just want you to feel that you can take advantage of some of these opportunities, because especially the ones that relate to funding, grants, workforce, things that are related to the SEDS. We really want you to feel that because you're part of the SEDS, that we want to include you in some of these opportunities. So now I really will turn it over to Marissa and let you tell you.
Save the best for last.
Yeah, because she's been doing what she does best, which is bring a lot of people together, and she's going to give you a brief overview that only represents the tip of the iceberg in the work that's been done.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I wanted to come and give you a sneak peek of the SEDS before it goes out officially to public comment, which will be sometime in early October. So not out for public comment yet, so I wanted you all to see it, and so you could have a chance to maybe comment on it before we send it out for the general public, but you are all also VCP too. So Lake Erie West Region 2026-2030 Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, also known as the SEDS. Really quick, what the purpose of the SEDS, so it is to guide strategic economic growth, help do funding alignment for the needs in the communities, and so we'll get a little bit more on the funding piece when Sandy talks about next steps, but focus areas that came out are resilient economy, housing, workforce, infrastructure, quality of life. Nothing new, nothing surprising. It's the areas that we've just seen over time are needed in economic development. The first section of the SEDS is an in-depth regional overview. This is just one graphic from many pages of regional overview, and also each county has individual county 1 to 2 pages that really dive into the county specifically. But this is just showing you some of the data that is included in the SEDS, so things like population change, income, poverty rate, unemployment rate. But we go way beyond that and look at more in-depth housing, permits, what kind of permits are pulled, educational attainment, those type of things. So the SEDS document will include a lot more than what you see here. One of the kind of most time-consuming and one of the most important parts is the SWOT overview. So we had meetings with our steering committee, which Bryce Briggs, he was on that, so he's been great asset and involvement throughout this process. We had that, we did a community survey, we did focus groups with each county, and then also just looking at the Seneca Sandusky SEDS, as well as the previous Ottawa Lucas and Wood SEDS, and just to kind of see what are strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So this is a high-level overview. The document will have more specifics and more on each of these, but you can see strengths, our education institutions, our collaboration, our strategic location. That's with our highway access as well as our access to Lake Erie. We're business friendly, we have a lower cost of living, we have a really robust parks, recreation, cultural arts. Each county has great assets. Weaknesses, the rural perception can be perceived as, lack of workforce or lack of people, limited affordable workforce housing, potential siloed workforce agencies, lack of resources for entrepreneurships and startups, and resistant to change. Opportunities, continue to expand our partnerships with education and industry. Technology is coming, so where can we kind of use that and to improve everything, and then attract residents who left, so that boomerang, kind of, if you've heard that term before, our access to Canada, brownfield remediation, innovation, tourism, and then increase our housing inventory. Some threats, these are things external that we can't really control, and so that's why they're a threat. So our aging and declining population, our funding uncertainties, rural depopulation, the health of Lake Erie, our poverty rates, lack of corporate headquarters, higher construction costs, which is exceeding what market rates are for housing, our electric grid capacity, and then adapting to changes. So taking what we learned from the SWOT, we came up with our goals and objectives. I also looked closely at the Sandusky Seneca SEDS, as well as the Toledo Region SEDS, but really the Sandusky Seneca, because at the beginning it was, I know you all had just went through this process and you had a pretty much a brand new SED, so we didn't want to totally dismiss that SEDS, and we wanted to pull in where we could and where the overlap was, so we were taking out of there. So looking at the old SEDS, the new SWOT analysis, we came up with 5 goals, and then each goal has, as you see here, and I'm sorry it's really small, but it has a number of objectives, but then each objective, which I did not put on here because it would be crazy overwhelming, has a number of strategies, and the strategies are the more specific where the work is going to occur, you know, what we're actually, steps we can actually take to then achieve our goals and our objectives. You can see one of the goals is expand and diversify the regional economy. I can't even read those, but so attract and retain high-paying jobs, promote entrepreneurship and innovation, encourage reuse of brownfields and other vacant properties, and strengthen the agriculture and food sector. Goal 2, enhance workforce development and retention, align workforce training with industry needs, improve professional skills and digital literacy, increase access to childcare, retain and attract young professionals. And then goal 3 is address housing affordability and access, expand the availability of affordable and workforce housing, streamline development and support infrastructure to reduce construction costs and barriers, and promote infill housing and mixed use development.
Can you give an example for them of one of the ways then that like one of the objectives then that you can measure?
Well, and I'll talk about it kind of in the
good.
implementation
Okay,
part of this whole process. But goal 4, improve and modernize infrastructure and regional connectivity. So objective 4.1 is expanding and improving all of our multimodal transportation systems that we have here. 4.2 is upgrade and maintain utilities, eliminate barriers, improve availability of broadband, high-speed internet. And then goal 5 is strengthen a regional identity, quality of life, community resilience. It's kind of this last kind of catch-all for everything, all that community development piece. Promote our regional image and community assets, revitalize downtowns with arts, entertainment, cultural venues, and leverage environmental assets like parks, waterfronts, natural areas for tourism and recreation, and expand access to healthcare and support services. So this kind of was all the work that went into developing these goals and objectives, but where a lot of the, I don't want to say the real work will begin is through our evaluation framework and our implementation plan. And so as I mentioned, goals, objectives lead into strategies, and strategies from there get drilled down even further to potential partners, the time frame, what the target and status are. We'll look at potential funding options, how much those might cost, and so these strategies can be, we can track things like, developing a targeted industry recruitment plan with the RGP. They do those type of things all the time, so we can work with them. We can, do an inventory of universities to see what internship programs all the universities have. So those are more specific steps that we can take just to start to kind of piece together what we have in the region. And then my goal is to have an online dashboard where we can report out the status of the SED, specifically strategies or projects that each county has taken on. And then we are required to have an annual report as well. And so the annual report is going to get into more of these high-level economic development kind of data points. So you can see labor force participation, our population, poverty rate, because those we can track those annually to see how well we're doing and if the work that we're putting in is making an impact. So implementation is going to start here when the SEDS is finalized and approved. But we'll have the annual reports, quarterly progress meetings, online dashboard, and just tracking, working closely with each county so I can stay in tune with what's going on. But this is going to be, I think, the fun part where we kind of can get really creative in how we accomplish some of the outcomes here. But that's less on my slide. Before I turn it over to Sandy, I will mention kind of the timeline. Public involvement will be in October. and we'll have the final plan from there after public comments are received. But I do intend to come back to you all with the final plan and ask for approval or support of that SEDS document. So that will probably be November, early December time, and then we'll submit to the EDA, and then we move on to next steps, which I'll turn this over to Sandy.
I have a couple
Yeah,
questions.
questions for
So,
Kim.
the Lucas Wood, Ottawa, how long were they said before Sandusky Seneca came
So
in?
their SEDS, and made it interesting, so Sandusky Seneca, pretty new SEDS,
Yeah.
their SEDS expires this year. So they have to have this SEDS.
Is it what, 10 years?
It's a 5-year.
5 years. And,
5
and this, so for Lucas Wood and Ottawa, this is the third iteration of a
So
SEDS.
they're 5, 5, 5.
Five.
And we're probably year 4.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so, when we started from scratch, we went through Bowling Green,
Mhm.
Grant. We had 2 different, the gentleman that started.
Russ,
last,
and then it went to
We
Nicole,
and the lady
right.
Yeah.
finished it,
Yep.
okay? So, we're now a SED, so now you're taking our SED and their SED, looks like you're the project lead.
Yep,
Bowling
yeah.
Green's out of it, and you're merging.
Yeah, so Bowling Green as a university center, they're really what, and this is how Nicole Pfeiffer.
Where'd you go to school at?
Bowling Green.
Your MPA,
Yeah.
you do this in Bowling Green?
I did not do this at Bowling Green.
Okay.
I came
was
over from
impressed with that.
transportation and did
Okay.
long-range transportation planning.
I lured her, remember I told you, I brought her into the
Yeah.
light, but I think,
Because you're good, I could tell.
oh, no, she can
Yeah.
take a bit, you should,
So-
how many pages is this plan?
And this one is only 50. My long-range plan was like
So
200.
are we, is this coincidental that Ottawa and them, their 5 years is up?
So,
So this will be a fresh for them, and then
And
we'll
this
just come
resets
back?
you for 5 years.
Resets
and this
all
sets
up.
us up for
Now I
the EDD
understand. I
application.
understand now.
Yep.
Right, and this was a requirement,
You guys following?
yeah,
I don't wanna
and,
be
yeah.
like, I
And-
hope I'm
well,
not.
So one thing that's, I think you're gonna see that's gonna be different here, and if this was your third SEDS, it might be more meaningful to you, is the SEDS can be kind of meaningless if it just gets put on the shelf. And I'll tell you, when I was first an elected official, I was always, when development projects would come, I would always say, well, does it align with our land use plan? But I never ask, does it align with our SEDS? And eventually I learned what the SEDS was, and I started asking that question. But it's really implementation that makes the difference. And from the very beginning, I told Marissa, I want to implement this thing. And that's why we have actionable steps. When there's a goal, there are steps to take. And they're drilled down to your county and your
Cindy's a
communities.
doer, we know that.
Yeah, I like to get,
Comfortable, yeah.
I don't want to just make just check that box with the EDA. I want this to actually make a difference.
So that's your role,
She,
you're paid.
she gets
I
up
mean,
every
My
morning
full-time
and
job will basically be this set.
this SEDS is her
Five
job.
counties, Okay.
Yep.
And-
You keep going.
And
Yeah.
so we've gone to some of the National Association of Development Organization conferences, which I'll tell you actually focus a lot on rural communities. And she's made some great contacts. She's got a contact in Kentucky that's got 11 counties. And they have so much success. Right now, they're managing $93 million in grants for their communities.
And I
And
think
she-
their 11 counties population is less than our 5 counties, just to
Mhm.
kind of show how rural they are, and they have $93 million
Yeah.
of grants, so.
But they work at the county level, and then they work at the regional level. And that's really important to us with this SEDS, that we recognize that each county has different challenges, opportunities, but then we all will fit together into a region.
So we're 5 counties set with a new name tomorrow.
Right.
But you have how many counties?
Well, we also have Fulton and Monroe, but Fulton and Monroe are dual membership counties. Fulton is part of the Economic Development District in the Maumee Valley
Yeah.
Regional Council.
That's what I was
They joined because Maumee Valley Regional Council is not a council of governments. And things that we do, like this initiative to help with hiring and things, those are council of governments things. And so they wanted to be a part,
see.
they wanted to be a part of that. They wanted to be a part of the caucusing that we do, bringing people, bringing everybody together. So Fulton County joined, And then Monroe County has been a member for many years, mainly because they're part of that they're part of the Metropolitan Planning Organization, Lucas and Wood, and a little bit of Monroe County. So they've been members for many years, but they're a part of the SEDS for the Detroit area. So these are the counties that are not that are not currently part of those two.
And then just one more, so as commissioners, so, supporting this, you work with Bryce at PSEP.
Yeah,
What do we call the collaborative?
collaborative now, yeah. And we're
And-
forming the Economic Development District
Okay, so
Policy
our
Board.
representative, our county representative for you would be the
Well,
collaborative.
and it's gonna be you as well.
And
so
us, the commissioners, I'm not,
Right.
Yeah.
but that's your day-to-day contact.
'Cause
Right.
when
And
we
we
have
fund
the,
that, pretty hefty.
And Bryce has been really
Contribute
involved. Yeah.
to, right?
Right.
The collaborative.
and the Economic Development Policy Board that I believe,
I think Commissioner Frank,
Yeah,
you're
you
going
are
to
the
be on the board, and
representative.
you're going to,
Yes.
and you're going to be the, I think, the,
Transportate or the.
you're going to be,
the alternate.
The alternate.
That board is gonna be the board I work with, once we're officially established as an EDD
Well, I want to
to
be on that board
implement.
if you're running.
Yeah.
And implement the SEDS and just making sure we're
Okay, so
working
what do you
through that.
expect from us going forward? This is a good,
Right,
I'm
well,
glad you came today. It's
so
timely.
here's where
What do
it
you need
gets,
from us in supporting this?
there's
Go ahead.
only 4 meetings a year. We need one of you at each of those 4 meetings, because those are going to be high-level meetings where we kind of direct the progress of
And this will
the
be a
work.
meeting of all 5.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a big board, it's up in
Okay,
like
so
the
what's
30s.
Commissioner Franker on? That's.
And we've got Seneca
The policy
County
board.
businesses, we're trying to get, we're having a hard time
This is
connecting with the
development.
one that you recommended, so we're gonna need a little help.
Okay.
But we have, so Bryce will be on there, we need a commissioner on there, we have Seneca County businesses.
City of Tiffin.
We tried to we went with bank, yeah, City of Tiffin will be represented. We have some banks, financial institutions that actually work all the way across, so Krogan and Huntington are going to have.
This is a quote committee in the set.
It will be our
What's this called?
policy board.
Policy board.
And it's high
This is
level.
all new, so I'm
Right.
asking.
Yep.
so
And it's,
public
no,
knowledge.
it's high
trying to
level.
understand.
Yep. It's high level folks
So
too.
you're on the
so-
policy board
Mhm.
of the new sets.
Right.
And then he's
Alternate.
on, what board?
He's the alternate to him.
He's an alternate.
Right.
Okay, so right now we have that. And then what else do you need from us?
The
Keep
EDD
going.
application.
So this is going to be next steps here. You're next month, we're going to ask you to approve the SEDS, and we'd like you to take a look at it. I think you've sent a link or.
I'll send a link
sending
after
link.
this meeting, yeah.
If you've got the time to leaf through it, because, or talk to Bryce, because we're in that period where we're asking for input.
Yeah.
Next month, we would ask you to approve it.
A couple months.
Couple months,
Yeah.
because that's what, in December. The EDA wants us to do that. We received a
This is
grant,
part of that new 5-year,
right.
so this is, we're
Right.
approving, this has not, what, not
And the-
the whole structure? Is that what
Right,
this is?
what the SEDS document, basically, the goals of the SEDS document. Now, it's a living document,
Yeah.
and it can change. And when an objective no longer maybe makes sense, then you can
Right.
remove that, or you can add new objectives. I know one of the areas that Marissa's very interested in, and I was just talking with the state EPA folks yesterday, we'd like to get some funding for brownfield evaluations. People always think they don't have brownfields, but if you have a former gas station site, if you've torn a building down in your downtown, anything that's going to prevent a developer from moving forward, the fear factor, right? I don't know that property, therefore I'm not sure I want to go forward. I don't want to put my money into finding out what the issues are. There's a lot of money out there for evaluation, and we're going to try to access some of that and make it available to the communities in the SEDS. That's one of the things you can say, well, that's an initiative of the SEDS. Next steps, and one of the reasons I think that was really compelling for you to join this 5-county group is, we had heard from the state rep, Lee Sherry, that it was pretty much impossible for 2 counties to become an economic development district. And you may remember, there were a lot of advantages to being a district.
A lot of grant advantages, right?
Yep, there are
Huge.
400 of them in the country, half the population lives in one, but they get 71% of the EDA grants, they get 79% of the construction grants, 3 times per capita. It's very compelling to be an EDD. It's very hard to get approved as an EDD, and one of the pieces was that they wanted us to do the sets. They said they didn't want it from Bowling Green, it had to be us. And so Nicole's been fantastic with the transition. As she describes it, this is why they exist, because they're also EDA funded. They're a university center of the EDA, and they're supposed to do your first set.
She handed the file
Yeah.
to you,
And-
basically.
yeah.
And now
And
you're taking it.
that's
I
the
was- I've
progression.
kind of been out of it since
Yep,
then.
that's the progression.
Okay.
So we actually made an attempt to apply to be an EDD, and they were like, too soon, you have to do the sets. So what we need to do next, after we have the approved sets, is we need to reapply to become an economic development district. And I was actually at the EDA in Washington, talked to them about it. We made a lot of noise. Because I think the fact that they make this process so lengthy is really unfair. We demonstrate the need in our region, because economic need and having a approved SEDS are really the only 2 requirements. There's no application, they don't make it easy. You have to go through the federal regs and kind of put something together. And, you know, I made the point, the Chicago district that we're in is notorious for being really slow about this, and Ohio has very few of those 400 economic development districts. Columbus just got certified, Detroit just got certified, and Cleveland still isn't certified. So it's because the Chicago office is really, I mean, I'm just gonna be honest, they're very slow about doing this. It's been really hard to get through this process. So we're going to be coming to you around the same time as we're asking you to approve the SEDS, and we're gonna ask for a letter of support to become an economic development district. That will open up the ability to apply for EDA funding that we are not currently available, you can't currently apply for. One of the things that it does is you have to have areas of distress. Example would be the high unemployment rate in Ottawa County, not surprising because of their vacation land situation. Obviously, Lucas County, you know there's a lot of need there. But what it does is it establishes that need as an umbrella. So you've got a community that maybe wouldn't qualify as being economically disadvantaged, doesn't need to anymore. It's in the district.
That's why.
Now,
beggars beg.
that's the big deal, okay? It's that umbrella, and that is the big deal. Marissa's become kind of an expert. Are there 4 or 5 categories of grants?
There's 4 that are kind of open all the time: public works, planning, technical assistance, and, oh, there's one other, and I'm blanking.
Is it the relief one?
Yeah, there is relief. They have a lot of disaster recovery relief.
Which a disaster can be a factory closes in your county. That can be a disaster. So, yeah. So she's gotten very expert at these. Plus, as we saw during COVID, one-time options come up for grants. And so you would just come right to us. And Marissa, that's the thing. That's why these districts exist. They don't want to deal with individual communities. They want us to be the funnel. They want us to be the
Being a SEDS
clearing.
now makes sense. Just because we check that box where it says it's 5.
That hasn't
We're not
opened
done
the,
yet.
that has not opened the door to funding.
No, we have
No.
to get through this.
We gotta get through this.
Which you've explained, I could never have explained it the way you.
We have to get to the
This
point
makes
of
total
being
sense.
designated as an economic development district.
There you go.
When
That
we
was
get-
always the original goal.
That has always been the goal.
Yeah.
And what was really compelling was
Way
Lee
back.
Sherry said
That
to
was-
me, our state rep, he said, you gotta go talk to Seneca and Sandusky because they will never become an economic development
We're
district.
surrounded, like, we're just, I looked at the map, we're like in no man's land. This made total sense.
Yeah. So,
David Zach was his idea.
Yeah.
Zach's idea, wrote the grant and got it started.
yeah, and I've been talking to David about the Ohio Economic Development Association.
He can help us.
I'm certified through them as an economic developer. Marissa's nearly there. And I want them to, I think we need to come together around these new economic development districts and support them so that, because what we've learned is, I told you those stats that the EDDs get most of the money. Well, I also found out the Urban Land Institute did the study that showed that. So I called them because I wanted them to present at the National Association of Regional Councils. I'm the head of the Economic Development Committee, and I said, yeah, I want to talk about your Economic Development District stats. He goes, I didn't really focus on that with this study. We focused more on the numbers that we came up with for rural versus urban. And here's the news. EDA dollars go slightly in favor of rural communities over urban. Most people are surprised by that. The Urban Institute was surprised by that. But he said, I got to look closer at these EDD numbers. We put those in there and we didn't pay that much attention. So by the time he came and presented, he had some news for me, which is, yeah, EDDs get most of the grants and most of the money. But here's the thing, it's a small number of EDDs, he called them super users, that get lots of that money. So meaning, it's really concentrated in a very small number of highly successful EDDs who've really figured it out. And that's why Marissa regularly speaks to some, and we've kind of identified some of these folks, and she's talking to them about, what did you do? How were you successful? Because we don't intend to form this EDD and not work it. We want to bring in those EDA dollars. They're not huge grants, but they're the grants that get the job done. It may be $1 to $3 million, but it would, for example, build a service road or connect a site to the wastewater plant. It's those kinds of pieces that fill that gap and get that deal done on economic development. And there are other planning grants and that sort of thing too. I think this is going to be really important for our region, and I wish when we did our recent strategic plan, we hadn't done one in 30 years, I pulled the old strategic plan out. You guys will probably enjoy this. The top 2 initiatives come to a name that will enhance more regional cooperation. Okay, I said that 30 years ago, and form an economic development district. So we're doing nothing new here, but we're doing it now, and I think that's the point. And I don't want to take up more of your time now, but I wanted to let you know about one thing. I worked with our ODOT district folks and came up with a little more information for you on the Rural Transportation Planning Organization, because that's another thing that I've talked to you about before.
Yeah.
They want Ottawa and Sandusky and Seneca. ODOT is very interested. There are 52 counties.
That's an ODOT document?
Well, this is information they gave me.
Okay.
I said, I want to be able to say, what's the advantage? And this is information that they gave me. Some of it's right from their website, some of it I got from Randy Lane from ODOT. I think it'll help you in the decision making. But what I want you to know is, Sandusky's already signed on.
You got Carlos?
Carlos was, he couldn't sign it fast enough because he had talked to Dennis who runs Maumee Valley, which is an RTPO. He said, I didn't get it at first. I'm not promising that you're going to get tons and tons of transportation dollars. We'll do everything we can to bring as many of the RTPO dollars as we can. But they're ending, the rural fund is almost gone because there's only 9 counties that are not in, out of 88, that aren't in either an MPO or an RTPO now.
So it'd be great.
And so, but what I want to talk about is the fact that we have been told that the 3 counties will get between $150,000 and $300,000 in planning dollars. They can't be used anywhere but in your counties. And we will add 2 more planners. I've just found an office in Fremont. You won't come to Toledo for your meetings. You will come to Fremont for your meetings. And those planners, right now, we have a specialist in freight and rail. You need a lot of rail separations out here. And that's one of the things I've been beating the drum on is rail separations. I know how tough they are for small communities, especially with EMS. And we have someone who is a specialist in active transportation. And we know that a lot of rural communities, they want paths connecting their communities and as much as urban areas do. We have these specialized planners, and we will add 2 more planners, and one will be specifically liaison to the RTPO. Why I'm coming to you about this right now, the first thing that has to happen is there's no cost to you. Eventually, this could cost you between $5,000 and $10,000 a year. The counties have to make a 10% match. So if we got the maximum planning dollars, $30,000, the 3 counties together would have to pay, or $300,000, you'd all together have to pay $30,000. That's if we maxed out. So if you split it evenly, it'd be between $5,000 and $10,000 a year. We do, for our MPO communities, we do free traffic counting. If you need traffic counting done, we do that. We work closely with the engineers. We don't take away the work of the engineers, we support the engineers. The county engineers are in our offices all the time, and that's why Carlos is really anxious to see this happen. But the reason I think it's a little bit urgent is we have to first do a long-range plan for you. Now, Marissa did the last long-range plan for us. We'll be having a new person do the next one. That has to be a 20 to 30-year lookout. That's what Federal Highway requires of us for the MPOs. So it's looking out to 2055. It's all the transportation projects that are needed in the community. She was commended by Federal Highway. She got 700 public comments on that long-range transportation. You've never had a long-range transportation plan for your whole county done in this way, with this much public input. Neither has Sandusky, neither has Ottawa. So we ended our year with extra funding, our ODOT dollars. How rare is it when somebody comes and says, I've got extra money? I have a lot of extra money that I could put to this because I have to pay for the long-range plan. Because the long-range plan is what we take to ODOT and say, these 3 counties want to be in our TPO and they have a long-range plan. That you need, it's kind of like this deal. Got to have the SEDS be the EDD. We have to have a long-range plan. And I'm in a position right now, I would just love to get started on it because I have the funding. And so I want you to take a look at this. I want you to call me with any questions. Happy to come back out again. Hoping to get Carlos together with the other 2 county engineers so that
Mark.
they, yes. And, but again, it's not about, the RTPO funds right now, they've been ranging at the state level in the transportation budget from 10 million to down to 4 million, in that range. But there's a groundswell for them to get more money because all of a sudden now there's so many more. Now there are more counties in Ohio in an RTPO than there are in an MPO. And so there's a lot of pressure on ODOT to allocate more funding to the RTPOs. And we also know the federal level, Secretary Duffy of Transportation has said he is going to support rural transportation. So this is a really good moment to have projects ready to present. And the way
We're all in District 2, right?
we're all, and that's why Pat McCulley would like to see you join this, because if you join anybody else, if you get allocated to anybody else,
He would be our.
you would be in District 3, or, Pat would like to see, and Pat has also said he'd be happy to meet with you. We can put a meeting together, whatever would, I just want to make sure your questions are answered. But at this point, with only 9 counties not, and part of it's like Clinton, which Clinton's like isolated, I don't know who's ever going to take them, and then, what is it, Ashtabula right above Cleveland, they don't really fit in anybody. So it's really very few counties that haven't been sorted out this way. So I brought this for you, and I'd love to have the conversation because it's a rare thing, like I say, when you know this, it's a rare thing when you can say, I have extra funding that we could put a significant amount of funding and manpower toward a long-range plan. Probably the biggest downside, it's going to be more work because your staffers,
I think that was the engineer's pushback.
Well, and I think also what Mark's saying, he says that,
From our engineer.
yeah,
But
I can bring you into my office and show you planning from the 30s that everybody gets ramped up on planning and nothing ever follows through with that. That's, I mean,
Yeah.
respectfully, that there's been, I think that's kind of his view is everybody spends hundreds of thousands that could be spent right on the project and stuff with that. There's been a ton of money through, his 30 years plus of being an engineer plus previous engineers and stuff on it. That's kind of the.
a little
That's
different.
why I
It's a
think
little
maybe if you-
different, and I respect what he's saying, because I've seen plans on shelves. It's a little bit different here, though, because, and Marissa can speak to this really well, if you're gonna get funded from the MPO fund, your project needs to be in the long-range plan. We amend the long-range plan, we will sometimes, the Metropolitan Planning Organization Policy Board will sometimes have a project brought before them because they say, hey, they're applying for funding and it needs to be in the long-range plan. That long-range plan is really, really important to funding. There are projects that have been in there it'll take them 15 years before they get funded, but they're in the long-range plan. It's a little bit different document to ODOT when you have when you're either an MPO or an RTPO and you have a long-range plan, they're like, we want to see that in your long-range plan. A little bit different than like a comp plan or something like that. Marissa, do you want to add anything to what a long-range plan does?
I think the difference too is it is required to be updated every 5 years. So you can't just do it and then 30 years check on it. ODOT and FHWA require that it's updated every 5 years and your horizon year changes. So I think that's when you say a 30-year plan, people are like, 30 years, like, can't even think that far. It's 30 years, but we reevaluate because we know new things come up, things change, and so we reevaluate it to make sure it's still relevant and it's still actually usable.
It also has a heavy freight component to it.
It's multimodal.
It's multimodal. So it's going to look at all modes of transportation. It'll have active transportation, your pathways. It will have passenger rail was one of the more popular things people wanted to talk about in public meetings. But certainly I'm very interested in freight, and freight's important in this county. And so if you have problem areas or safety issues, you want to get those in the long-range plan. That will catch ODOT's eye, because this is a requirement of the RTPO. So this plan is not for you, it's for ODOT. It's submitted to them, they review it, and they approve it, meaning their eyes are on your needs.
Is this extra money? We get X amount of money from ODOT today, okay?
Well, first,
Would this
we
be in
have to-
addition, or would this be?
Yes, you do not get this money now. You
Yeah.
do not get this planning
So
money.
this is extra money on top of what we get because we're a member of this. And
Yes.
And that,
Yes.
that's what.
You match it to 10%, but this planning money isn't currently being offered to you. When you read that, there are going to be some new funding options that are going to be open to you.
I guess
Right.
that's the question.
You can't get money right now to the RTPO plan.
Yeah.
That money is closed to you. That fund of dollars, and they're putting almost nothing into the rural. I mean, the rural fund is basically, right now, you're just considered an independent county. And when you take a look at the map, you go on ODOT's map and look at that RTPO, MPO map. I think I've sent that map to you. It's pretty much the whole state. So I think what could happen is eventually they're just going to assign you somewhere. This is your opportunity to say, this is where we want to be. And to be honest with you, I think you're missing out on opportunities. And initially, we do the long-range plan. So there's no cost to you for the long-range plan. That's on us. And then the most that you contribute is 10%. But what do you get? If your engineer says, well, we do our own traffic counting. Well, if he's behind, we do traffic counting. We have a full-time safety planner. This is all he does. And if you called and said, hey, we've got this intersection's problem, we will come out, we'll do the study on the corner, or on the intersection, we'll do the traffic counting, we'll do the mapping, we'll search for funding for it, and we'll help you with the application. And we've got 2 people on safety. Lisa Householder's been working on transportation safety for the last 20 years, but we have a new guy who does all the GIS work on it. Safety is his entire job. And so I think there's nothing to lose and everything to gain. Your engineer might say, well, we don't have a lot of federally qualifying roads to get a lot of big MPO money. But this is a separate fund. This is the RTPO fund. And they know that it's for rural funding. So I just want you to take a look at that, because like I say, at the moment, I can afford to get this thing rolling, and that isn't always true. And so happy to, call me, ask me any questions. Call Carlos and ask Carlos questions, because
And I think he's gonna work on putting a meeting together.
he is.
Yeah.
We're waiting to get past everybody's vacations. So we'll try to get a meeting together. This will give you a little bit of background. And I know you can't all attend the same meeting, but we'll try to get your engineer and.
I did talk to Mark
Good.
about attending, and he's open to attending.
Oh, thank you. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think
super.
it's, times are changing,
Yeah.
we'll open.
All right, well, we won't take up any more of your time. We will be back soon, asking you for actually to take action on the SEDS and to take action on a letter of support for the EDD.
Yeah.
But thank you for your time.
Thank you. Sandy,
Really
for
appreciate
coming.
it.
Marissa, stay in touch with us,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Through this and.
Yeah, I'll send you the draft so you can check it out.
Thanks.
I don't know about you guys, take a deep breath.
We're on to the next thing.
Yeah, we gotta go up
This is
there.
our
I didn't
favorite thing to
realize
talk
it was
about. It's all good.
But I thought it was productive. This was good. Can you hit the lights, please? See you, Kim. Thanks for sticking around. And
Tell me again what SED stands for.
Community Economic Development. S, yeah.
Community Economic
Oh, I can
Development.
look it up, something, yeah. I have a SEDS folder, this is my TMAGOG folder, but,
We should do a lot with alphabet soup.
Right.
yeah, and you just see consolidation, there's strength in numbers, Little Seneca County applies, or
5 County, we're part of that, and we apply, we get better points and scoring and more, it's just the way it's working. And,
so, the stuff takes time, but we've tried it up here, I think we all value the cost benefit. Not only what do we have to put in of taxpayer money, our time, what's it, what's that all worth? Now, the SEDS, we were able to get the original grant, I believe, City of Tiffin and Seneca County, David Zach got a grant for maybe half or most of it, and then Tiffin, and we put in, I think, $7,500. We go back and look. But we do some seed money in, and I don't think we put any extra money in since. What you're seeing is all part of that. And I was gonna ask, does Bryce pay, so does a collaborative pay, and now that we're part of this, maybe we have an annual, we have to ask Bryce that. But, you have to pay something in, this just doesn't happen. But so far, the value's been, I think it's worth it, but we have to keep an eye on it, right? And
Yes.
it's all fluid. Any other comments on what we just went over? We good? Okay, so commissioner reports.
I'll go quick, I'll go.
Yield
I'll go
to
quick.
Brent.
Last Friday I had Recovery Task Force. Monday I had FCFC Executive Committee meeting. Tuesday night I had GeoCap meeting. Last night, Bill and I attended the Main Street celebration, downtown Tiffin's development for the last 10 years.
Yeah,
It was a nice event.
Nice.
And attended this morning the 9/11 event downtown at the memorial. We'll move on.
busy, keep
Yeah.
you busy. Good
Stuff
job.
going on, yep. So on Monday, we had so next year's the American 250 celebration, so the collaborative along with Destination Seneca County is taking the lead on that, so working on some stuff that we want to proceed with, and so we're looking about to, as we contribute a little bit to the last year for the celebration for Ohio, maybe a little contribution to help with America 250. One of the, I guess, decisions that they're looking and moving towards is to plant a tree in each one of the townships and stuff. Working with trustees, and if they want to, if their township house, or if they have somewhere in a township, and then have a plaque for the celebrating 250 on that. So working on that, kind of with the Parks District. Sarah's kind of working on that, and then she was looking to get some, basically get the trees, drop them off and plant them, where we might look at the next step is to maybe look locally with the local, like First Choice Landscape, have them come in and actually plant the trees and do it right, rather than just drop them off at township houses and hope that they get done right and stuff with it. So a little more to come on that, but we had a meeting with that, so. a lot of good things, each of the villages.
And that's a whole year.
That's a whole year.
Is there a date, like is
So-
there one date?
Yeah, so actually that, looking about a February 21st
Okay.
kickoff for that.
Next year, February 21st.
Yep, that's kind of what they're
Might put that
proposing.
on.
And then, yeah, it's a year long. And what they could do is whoever, whatever township, they can have, schedule an event if they want throughout the year.
Or,
Right, well, not that day, or I mean, this would be the kickoff.
Yeah.
They can wait till June
Yeah.
to do something,
This
or,
kind of-
yeah, it's kind of throughout the year, so this will be the, because you don't want to wait halfway through the year and try to do a kickoff.
yeah,
it's
so
kind of a-
that'll be the date, so like our birthday was April 1st, right?
Yeah,
So
so this-
then it's a whole year.
Yeah, it'd be the whole year, yep.
I
That'd get
got
out of a January
It's good to
timeframe,
know.
kind of an end of February time for the kickoff with that, so
Okay.
look forward to that.
Thank you.
Getting more to come with that, so. Tuesday night had fair board meeting, and, no more get done with the fair, it's time to start looking at next year, so, yeah, they're getting all their dates and stuff for the convention and all that around, and, so, yeah, a lot of good things coming down there. They've got actually some events coming in, they got Airstream coming in, doing spending time there and stuff on it, and.
They lease that out,
They
get a
lease it
couple
out,
bucks.
yeah,
Yeah.
so they're always looking to, make things happen, keep the fair
Yeah.
pristine and nice and stuff on it. And CERT building, that's come along good out there. I did, stop and take a look at
Yeah.
that, so that's looking good. He's come along good on that project, so. And then, yeah, as Brian alluded to, last night, we was over to, celebrating the downtown summit, and definitely, nice event they put together for that. And again, this morning with 911 Memorial, it was well done with them. So, here we are.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
9/11, I hear that beeping, we're okay. Okay. I was invited over to North Central Electric for an Ed talk, Ed Van Heusen, the CEO. That was kind of nice. We sat there, did a little podcast about rural, the red leg that they put in, the rural economic development loan that we were part of. That was great. Went up to an honor flight last night. They came back from DC the day and saw Zach up there and a few different people. It was pretty neat. Just a quick airport update. I want to read this. So we are in a 2-year master plan cycle. We've talked about this. We've been awarded our grant. The end objective is to extend our runway. So the Seneca County runway, which is 4,000 feet long, we would like that to be 5,000 feet long. And there's all kinds of positives to that. This is not an automatic, this is not an easy process, but we're in the step after years of Seneca County buying houses and acquiring property and taking trees down and getting to where we're at. We're now at the master plan level. So just got a little email, I want to read it. This is from Brian, our airport consultant. Now that the grant is in place for the airport master plan, we have started moving forward with some preliminary tasks. One of the critical path items is acquisition of an aerial imagery, because that has to be captured with full leaf on condition. They rushed to get this done, so we were able to get that scheduled and fly inquiry imagery yesterday, so they got all the aerial photos. Then they also have contracted their ground survey subconsultant, Garcia Surveyors, who will capture elevations of the ground, control markers next week. That work will require some more work around the apron, the taxiway, to get primary and secondary airport control points, and so forth. So they're beginning this process. This is 2 years, $400,000 to $500,000 plan. So they've begun the plan, so that's kind of neat to know that it's underway. And we'll get updates periodically, but it's just kind of happening, right? we submit that in for payment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so does it come out of our money, comes out of the grant money? So just to let everybody know, that's where the airport stands. That's all I have, I guess. Anything else from you guys?
No.
Commissioner reports, over to county administrator?
I have a question
Yeah.
on that.
Sure.
If that all goes through, how long is the process of getting that additional 1,000 square feet?
No, that I don't know. I think we would, so question is, if we're approved for the extension, then how long will it take to actually get it put in? That I don't know. But if I'm guessing, it's probably a 3 to 5 year.
I would imagine.
It's not overnight, but
Yeah.
once we get approved, we'll get in the queue and
I had no
yeah,
idea.
yeah. So, that's a good question, I don't know that. So, good, anything else? Barb?
I don't have a whole lot. Just let you know that I will be out of the office tomorrow. I'm going to Columbus for the Corsa annual meeting in Columbus. That they will review dollar amounts for, premiums where Corsa stands with their premiums and their collective review of their financials tomorrow, kind of because we're at the end of that calendar year for them, and then we're working on getting into our renewal for next year already. So that'll give us a little bit of an indication of maybe where our renewal might be headed, as far as what monies they have set aside and things like that.
So the public understands, Corsa is the property casualty,
Yes.
the buildings and liability county-wide state consortium. And SEVCO, that Kim was talking about,
Correct.
is the county-wide medical consortium. They're two separate organizations. One's for our group health insurance and our pharmacy, and the other one's for vehicles, buildings, and liability. But we, Seneca County, participated in both.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of counties on the property, even more counties on the property side, I think.
Believe there are 70
Yeah.
plus counties
So
on the
like
property.
70 of the 88 counties buy their property casualty insurance through this consortium, and 50 of the 88 get their medical insurance. And we are in both. Thank you.
But other than that, I don't have a whole lot to report. I've just kind of been perusing budget that was submitted, working on getting scheduling for budget hearings, just,
Coming up.
day-to-day stuff that I've been trying just to kind of keep up with. And like we had the Health Insurance Committee meeting last Friday, just trying to make sure that we're all up to date with, what was going on there.
IT, so all these little pieces fit
Yeah.
into the big picture.
So I don't have a whole lot to report today, so that's what I have.
Any old business from anybody?
I might tell you a little bit about the IT stuff.
Yeah, good.
We did send out last Friday to all the county departments what I asked you guys in the last meeting to try to get them all to get their current list put together of all the computers they have, and to send out what computers that they no longer have in use to the auditor's office for disposal. We'll have to do a disposal day for everybody to turn in all their computers that need to be disposed of. I'll also send off to RCR the policy that we created to have them look at it to see what they think, and then in turn, then we'll need to put together an IT committee meeting to get the IT committee to approve. So in turn, it comes to us.
Correct. Correct.
To approve, to put that IT policy in place. So I just wanted to update you guys on that.
You satisfied with the timeline and everything?
I think
So
we
far?
have to be. Yeah, and I think right now with the way it seems like the auditor state what they expect out of us by September 30th on reporting stuff. They've got their form to us, so if there would be something, I think we're okay. That we've said enough to them that they can respond to us and we can But the big date for all the policy is January 1st. So, that's it.
Good job. Yeah, anything else? Any old business? Okay, new business, supplemental appropriations.
Just a few. Out of general fund, the contract services in the amount of $20,000. This is for the youth center. This has to deal with their nursing contract and their meals contract, both of which are through other county departments. Board of Health does our their nursing contract, and the sheriff's office does the meal prep for the youth center. And then out of general fund also transfers out of $200,000. This will be transferred to the capital improvement and employee liability fund. The sheriff's commissary fund services line, $1,095. And also out of that same fund, software license and services line, $228. Then I have from the Crum Ditch project fund, in advance out of $5,678.97. This is going to repay, it's an advance repay for the second half collection for real estate tax this year. And then I also have for the county capital projects fund for the museum, $34,500. This is for architectural fees for the HVAC upgrades over there.
Make the motion to approve the supplemental appropriations.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion. The 200,000, what do we use that for?
For the transfer
I
out,
know the
it'll
answer, but-
go to capital improvement,
Mhm.
and then a portion of it will also go to the employee liability fund, which is set up so that we can pay out when employees leave the county, retire, terminate their employment with the county. We pay out vacation, and when they retire, they have a sick payout. So we have a separate fund to put that money in. So general fund accounts aren't coming to the commissioners and saying, "Hey, I have to pay out this person." We have a fund established now that those payouts get paid out of.
Started last year.
So yes, so it
We've
makes
already used
it
some
makes
money.
it a little bit
Yeah.
easier
Yeah.
because then I just get notification that there is someone leaving employment, and then I take care of making sure that they get paid when they're appropriately and when they're supposed to be paid for that.
I think it's important to having this discussion so that everybody understands that in our budget, as we go through budget cycles, we're getting better at looking at all these different unfunded liabilities. And so we have a fund designated that we put money in to pay for these liabilities.
Mhm.
If we didn't have this fund, we'd have to come up with X amount of thousands of dollars every time somebody retires that's not in our budget. So that's a good thing. And then what are we doing at the museum?
They're doing HVAC upgrades over at the museum, and we are working on, I believe, the architecture, RCM is actually working with getting all of the paperwork together so that we can put that out for bid.
We have grant money. We have grant money.
We have grant money for that.
Yeah.
That's gotta be used.
By June 30th, it has to be
Next year, right?
expended by
Next
June
year.
30th.
And that's
So-
part of our State of Ohio grant.
Correct, that was the
one-time
Ohio
grant money.
one-time strategic planning
So we have money for that. Are we paying, is this out of our pocket or does this come out of grant money?
This is coming out of the grant money,
Yeah,
but I
so
have to
this is whole-
appropriate it.
This all comes, so
Mhm.
this 34.5 comes out of the grant money.
Correct.
That's why it's in the capital project.
Correct.
I got it. It's good. All right, anybody else? Any other discussion? Mr. Bridenbaugh, did you learn something there?
I'm not sure.
Um,
I'm going to have the guy sitting next to me explain.
Explain that.
He's in politics.
So, we received a grant from the state, we got the money, and it's earmarked for the museum. But we have to pay the architects, right?
Correct.
We have to pay the architects $34,500 to draw up all the plans, all the detail, and then we will bid it out based on those prints. So we're approving this money, but the good news is that that 34.5 comes out of the grant money that didn't come out of the our money, the general fund money. And so that's kind of what that was a little bit about, but I want to make sure, if he understands it, then we did a good job.
That's good. So thank you for that. We have a first and a second. Roll call.
Commissioner Bustecker?
Yes.
Commissioner Prankert?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes. Good.
Thanks, Barb.
Moving on to resolutions then, authorizing fund advance repayment from the Crum Ditch Project Fund to the general fund in the amount of $5,678.97.
So move?
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Bustecker?
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
Resolution authorizing fund transfers be made to the County Capital Projects Fund in the amount of $100,000.
Make
So
the motion.
I'll second.
Did you get that?
Who's first?
It was me.
Okay.
Frank.
Sorry.
Nope,
Any
you're good.
discussion on this? Okay,
Commissioner Bustecker?
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
yes.
Resolution authorizing a fund transfer be made to the Employee Liability Fund in the amount of $100,000.
So move?
Second.
So we're splitting it 200?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. I
Yeah.
got it. Slow. Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Bustecker?
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Come on. Hey, now, time out.
And you're president, and you're running the meetings, and I'm sitting over there. I'm still gonna ask all the questions.
No, I know.
No, that's what I'm just telling you, you know.
Okay, so everybody understands how this is gonna work. Okay, Mr. Vice President, thank you. All right, next.
You need to vote.
And you can laugh at me then, too.
Yeah, roll call, sorry.
Commissioner Bustecker?
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes, I forgot. Timeout's over with. All right,
Resolution appointing Robin Reeves as the representative for Seneca County to the One Ohio Region 17 Board effective September 1st, 2025, and this will go through June 30th of 2026.
I'll make the motion.
Now second?
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Bustecker?
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
The last resolution I have is a resolution to authorize payment for late fees on an Aqua account. Currently, that amount is $2.73, but we are requesting if there are any additional fees on the next statement that we also approve those.
So move?
I'll second. I just remember watching Tyler sit here and get really worked up.
Oh,
on
yeah,
those.
right.
I mean, it's,
we'll have
sucks,
we'll have
but
a little
it-
discussion on
Yeah.
this. So we had an exit interview with the state auditor and Julie, our auditor, and we had the prosecutor's office here, and I thought it was a really good discussion about late fees and Ohio law and how all that works, and late fees aren't covered. I mean, so we do everything in our power to avoid them at the front end, we do everything at the power once we get them to make them go away, but there are times, this is one of them, where all that didn't work, and the only way these get paid is if the commissioners agree to pay them, and this comes out of the general fund, and this is a couple dollars.
Yeah, this one is $2.73. It might be a little bit more.
So do you guys want to add anything? Because this is not funny. Like, we
No,
don't
it's
like
not.
late
After
fees.
that, no, but.
But it happens. But I thought we had a real healthy discussion with the
Yeah.
state, the whole state auditor and Julie and,
Correct, and
So,
it's
go
just,
ahead.
it's
Yeah.
just something that, we work really hard to make sure if it comes on a bill that we try to get it removed. I mean, we call the vendor, I'm sure Cheyenne was on the phone with Aqua for, a period of time, several different people she probably talked to try to get it removed, and then when they come back and say, well, we've already removed one this year, or in the last 12-month period, we can't do it again. So we're kind of, our hands are tied, so we have to come to you and say, is it okay to pay this late fee? We're hoping, we do the best that we can to make sure that we get everything done correctly on our end, but this late fee is, I will say, is of no fault of our own. Payment was made, processed through the auditor's office and mailed. It just was not applied in time by the due date on their end.
If
So
I
we-
may add something,
Yes.
there were 4 other checks for Aqua accounts that were mailed at the exact same time that were all processed in time, just not that one. So, not sure what happened, if
Post
it got
office thing.
lost in the mail or what happened.
Sat on
but-
somebody's desk,
Desk,
I don't know.
right.
But we do the best that we can to avoid these situations.
Yeah,
Because everything is mailed out from, yeah.
Correct.
we don't take anything out of, what's that, EFT?
Right, exactly, it's all.
Because of
Well,
fraud and stuff.
utilities are weird in the sense that if you paid by EFT, they would never know where to apply it.
Right.
So when we do utilities, we try
Oh,
to
I
send
would
a
do it.
check so that we send the stub so that the account is credited correctly. So,
That's the explanation, and so we have a first and a second. Any other discussion? We good? Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Bustecker?
Yes.
Commissioner Franker?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes. Good job.
I have nothing else.
Meeting next Thursday.
Correct.
Okay. Any other comments up here? Public comment, anybody? Public comment? Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm Dwight Clary. I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on with our County Board of Elections. As you're all aware, our petition was denied. We had collected 742 signatures. 580 of them were certified. We only needed 369, and yet they refused to put this on the ballot.
Could you say it, name your organization?
Community of Patriots.
Community of Patriots. Thank you, Dwight.
Yep. So we turned those in, so then we did a protest paperwork. In other words, we wanted to contest their decision, have a discussion about it. Went to the board meeting, and we were dismissed automatically from having a discussion. They decided that it wasn't worth talking to us. By the end of the meeting, they had put forth a referendum and passed it that said that anybody that had worked on this, it said anybody that was a member, and didn't say what a member of, but said anybody that had worked on this or promoted it could no longer be a manager, precinct manager, which was also preclude anybody that's not a precinct manager from moving up to that position. There are many constitutional issues here that are going to have to be dealt with. What I'm asking you guys is, I don't know the dates, and maybe I have some things wrong, but it's my understanding that the Board of Election is going to, or has, asked for money to buy new voting machines. If they have, I would request you to consider freezing those funds. If you haven't, I would request you to not approve those funds until these constitutional issues have been settled, because this is going to be an issue. And I'd hate to see the voters or taxpayers of Seneca County spend close to $1.5 million for new voting machines when this issue isn't settled. There are severe, multiple First Amendment constitutional issues here that have been violated and should never have happened. So that was my request that I was making today. Wanted to let you know a little bit about what had happened, and just wanted to protect the taxpayers' money in Seneca County.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any comments?
I don't think so. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Got it. Anything else? Anything else? Good, okay. Meeting's adjourned.
Thank you.